So you're a mid-level executive, and you feel like it's time to really hit the accelerator on your career, right? Well, you absolutely need to know about IIM Mumbai's Postgraduate Program for Executives, or PGPEx. In this explainer, we're going to break down everything about this intensive one-year MBA. It's designed for ambitious professionals just like you. Let's dive in. Here's what we're going to cover. We'll start with why this program is special. Then we'll see if you qualify, walk through the admission process, understand the financial investment, and finally, get a peek at the kind of people you'd be sharing a classroom with. So first things first, let's get right to the big question. With so many executive MBAs out there, why this one? Well, the answer is pretty powerful. It's about its mission to create the leaders who will steer India's incredible economic growth. You see, this isn't just another degree program. It's IIM Mumbai's direct answer to a huge national opportunity. As India's economy is booming, there's this massive demand for leaders who really get it, who have a rock-solid business foundation. This program was literally designed to meet that specific challenge head-on. So what exactly is the PGPEx? Let's be clear. This is an intensive, one-year, full-time residential program. That means you're living and breathing it. It's not some part-time thing you do on weekends. It's built from the ground up for mid-level executives who are ready to turbocharge their careers by mixing top-tier management ideas with a solid technical base. Okay, so that probably has you wondering, am I even eligible? It's a great question. Let's break down the core requirements you'll need to have in your back pocket just to apply. It really comes down to 3 non-negotiables. First, you need a bachelor's degree with at least 50% marks. Second, you gotta have somewhere between 3 and 10 years of full-time work experience after you graduated. And third, you need a valid score from the CAT, GMAT, GRE, or the university's own IMAT test. If you can tick all 3 of those boxes, you are officially in the game. So you've ticked the boxes, you're eligible, fantastic, but what's the actual path to getting in? How do you go from hitting submit on your application to hopefully getting that acceptance letter? Let's walk through it.
They've really broken it down into 2 simple stages. First up is shortlisting. Based on your application and your test scores, IIM Mumbai creates a shortlist of candidates who get invited for a personal interview, or PI. Then, after the interview, comes the final step. They create a merit list, which is where everything, your scores, your experience, your interview, all comes together to decide who gets an offer.
So how do they weigh everything to make that final decision? Well, take a look. Your standardized test score is a huge piece of the puzzle, a massive 40%. But, and this is super important, look at what comes next. Your work experience and how you do in that personal interview are weighted just as heavily combined, each grabbing 20%. The rest is your academic history. This shows they're really looking at the whole person, not just a test score. Okay, to make all this feel a bit more real, let's talk dates. Go ahead and pull out your calendar. The application portal opens on September 24th, 2025. You've got about a month to get everything in order before that October 22nd deadline. You can expect to hear about final selections around mid-November, and then the program itself is set to kick off in April of 2026. All right, let's get down to brass tacks. We need to talk about the practical side of things, the financial investment. We'll look at the fees, what your payment options are, and some of the key policies you really need to know about. Your financial journey here starts with a pretty standard non-refundable application fee of 3,000 rupees. Then, if you get that amazing news that you've been accepted, you'll need to pay 1 lakh rupees to book your seat. Think of it as your down payment on your future. And don't worry, that amount gets adjusted into your total fees later. From there, you've got 2 main ways to handle the tuition. You can go for the annual payment plan, which totals up to 15 lakhs. Or you could choose the module-wise plan. This one gives you a bit more flexibility in how you pay, but the total comes out just a little higher at 16 lakhs. And here's what that actually looks like. If you go for the annual plan, it's basically 2 big chunks. But if you choose the module plan, you can see it's spread out nicely over 4 smaller, more manageable payments throughout the year. And remember, that 1 lakh you pay to book your seat gets taken off that very first installment. Now, this is something you absolutely need to pay attention to, the refund policy. And honestly, it's pretty strict. If you withdraw after classes have already started, you only get a very small portion of your fees back. And if you've only paid the booking fee and withdraw after the last admission date, there's no refund at all. The bottom line here is, be sure this is what you want before you commit financially. All right, enough with the numbers and deadlines. Let's talk about what's arguably the most important part of any MBA program, the people. Who are you going to be in the trenches with? What's the classroom experience really like?
The first thing you'll notice is the experience in the room. The average age is right around 28. And with that comes an average of almost 6 years of real-world work experience. So what does that mean for you? It means this is not a program for recent grads. You're going to learn as much from the person sitting next to you, from their successes and failures, as you will from any professor.
And when you look at where your classmates are coming from, you see a really strong analytical bent. A whopping 73% have an engineering background. This means discussions are often grounded in data, in logic, and in structured problem solving. And that's then balanced out by the diverse thinking from the other 27% who come from all sorts of different professional fields.
And make no mistake, this is an intense year. We're talking over 720 hours of learning crammed into that time. And it all leads up to a really practical 8-week capstone project. This is where the rubber meets the road, and you get to apply everything you've learned to solve a genuine business problem.
So there you have it. We've looked at the why, the who, the how, and the how much. After seeing what IIM Mumbai's PGPEx is all about, there's really only one question left. This is a program built to shape the very people who will lead India's next big economic chapter. The real question is, are you going to be one of them?